somewhere, deep in the Mississippi backwoods, are two red-blooded American males who don't have enough sense to fear anything but God Almighty. Welcome to the Freedom, Recovery, Educational, Entertainment Podcast, giving America back her soul.
And I told that fella, I said, you done got the wrong pig by the ear this time, buddy. And I'll tell you, yours ain't look on his face.
We recorded.
Hey, how y'all doing? Well, welcome to the Freedom, Recovery, Educational, Entertainment Broadcast.
Podcast.
Podcast, yeah.
What we're doing today, I think we need to tell folks what we really are doing, and that is just telling them our side of the story and giving them a version of the events going on in our world from a point of view from.
They don't want your version or your
They
views.
probably don't. They ain't really
They
crazy
don't.
about
They
you.
just want you to have theirs.
But I think, here's what I think. I don't think very often, but when I do, here's what I think. I think there's all these broadcasts, podcasts, whatever you call them, out there from these people from these big cities that live in D.C. and New York City and Chicago, and we don't necessarily agree with them. We don't think like them. And I know there's people all over the United States that live in rural America like we do, that work their butt off for a living every day, that kind of need a voice.
Yeah. Well, I think what it boils down to is their side wants more government. They want more government subsidized and stuff, and we want less because we're the son of a gun's paying it. Anyway.
And in case y'all wondering what this knife is sitting right here for, that's if either one of us interrupts the other one.
Yeah.
You know, it's always there.
Okay. You can start over. You done pulled the knife on me now.
No. But I do want you to know that's my knife.
Yeah. Well, I'll cut you with it and give you $40. It'll be mine.
As long as you give me the $40, which led. Hey, if y'all get a chance, go to our channel, like the channel, like this video if you like it. If you don't like it, keep on scrolling. Subscribe if you can, and comment. We'd love for you to comment too. We'd love for you to know what you think. I mean, don't be ugly, but you know, corrective criticism, I'm cool with. And if you want to be ugly, be ugly. But be ugly toward Jason, not me.
That's right. Well, look here. I think what our problem is one thing we got going is we distrust the government. We don't believe, that they're out for our best interest, do we, Will?
I don't. I really don't think they are. In fact, I think that the government is using us basically as labor slaves to fund their way of life. And their way of life is not our way of life. And freedom for us as individuals is not involved in that. I think we are literally a slave to them. And you look at it, we pay them so we can go to work. That doesn't make walking around sense.
Well, people's been doing it for years, buddy.
Yeah, I think it's just another form of slave labor, and that's my honest opinion about it. And I think the working class is there, and I think there's so many. I watch these podcasts all the time, and there's this one guy, he's got a podcast called LFR, if you get a chance to watch it. Guy's name is Van. I've watched him transform, and he was a big time liberal for years, and I've watched him go kind of toward the other side, kind of toward the freedom side. And it's real interesting. If you ever get a chance to watch that, it's a good podcast.
I will. What about old Reverend Jesse
Reverend Jesse Lee?
Yeah.
He's a sight,
dude. And
I like.
I do too.
He's controversial at times, and I agree with some of his stuff and disagree with others.
Hey, look here. He just tells it the way it is, just the way he sees it, and people thinks he's crazy, and he don't have. It's not nothing.
We all a little crazy.
Well, he's not advocating against anybody in particular.
No.
It's just what's right, and what's wrong, wrong.
Mm-hmm.
You know. But anyways, you know what I was talking about earlier with you was, you know, your rights are infringed upon all the time. You can be riding down the road, and I'm not talking about speeding, or your tag's out of date, or you a blinker out, or tail light out, and they just be standing in the middle of the road. It's kind of like martial law. See, my idea is, martial law is when military polices the streets.
Yeah, when
when
the government
well,
takes
what's
over,
the difference if you militarize the police?
I think they already have been.
I know, but I'm saying, what is the difference in having the military police in the streets than militarizing your policemen?
If you think about it, police are a form of military because they're controlled by government. So they actually are a form of interior military.
Well, you know.
Which I disagree with wholeheartedly. I don't think they should be, but I think that's what they've turned into.
Well, I know police officers that I love and care for.
Oh God, yeah.
And but you know, I don't think that none of them can be right all the time.
No, but they also
and they can
have
be wrong so often.
They also have to follow a boss. And that boss tells them to go out there and block that road, or today we're going to block Highway 45 because, you know, lunchtime when this factory gets out of work, somebody might drink a beer or something like that, and so we got to make sure they don't do it. But now, in the middle of the night when nobody's coming through there, they don't, you know, when the bar empties out, they ain't blocking that road.
Well, I've seen them blocking the road.
Well, you know what I mean.
But you know, that's just like,
it's about
the other day I went fishing and I thought, you know, I ought to have this right. I ought to have the right to go fishing without worrying about having a bunch of numbers on a boat. If I could have saved up enough money to buy me a boat, and I can't even use it until I can save up enough money to buy me the stickers to go on.
Well, technically, if you look at it like that, who owns the boat? You or the government.
There you go.
If they tell you they'll confiscate it if you don't put your stickers on.
So if I hit a lick and I decided I was going to buy me a pickup truck, and I say I hit a $25,000 lick,
you better hit a bigger lick than that.
No, I'm just saying. I'm not talking about a brand new one. I'm talking about I'm just going to buy me one.
Right.
A used one or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And I was going to buy one for $25,000, and I took that money. Well, I better have another $2,000 or $3,000 to buy a tag for it.
Yeah, that's right. That's exactly
you
right.
know, or whatever they say it's worth, a percentage of that.
Tags are completely out of sight. I don't see, and you already pay taxes on it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. You know, and what the hell is everybody gonna do? Nothing. They're gonna sit on their hands.
Well, and you go in there and you vote for the
I can't
fella
do it by myself.
You vote for the fella you think looks prettier, and this guy's gonna get in there and he's going to do this and do that, and he's gonna make this law, and I vote for the fella that takes the laws away, not the one that adds them. We got plenty. We need to start taking them away and quit adding to it.
That's right. Well, you know, me and you were talking earlier about the difference between social and political issues.
Mm-hmm. Well, the difference between a social issue and I have yet to understand it. They say if you're a Democrat, you're for boys dressing up like girls and boys going in the girls' bathrooms.
They got one of them at the local school here.
Yeah. And then you're for abortion, and you're for this, and you're for that. Well, that's not a political issue at all. That's a social issue. Why is that tied to a certain political party? That doesn't make good sense to me. Why, a political issue would be how much taxes you're going to charge on something, or are you going to quit charging taxes on that? That's political. The stuff they're talking about is social, and for some reason people can't seem to make a distinction between the two. Used to, I remember when we were kids, they could.
Mm-hmm.
Used to, a fella could be anti-gun and vote on the Republican Party because he was a Republican. That issue didn't have nothing to do with the other.
Yeah.
I remember, and you remember, politicians had run on the Democrat Party and say, I believe you ought to be able to keep your gun. They didn't care what party it was.
Right. Well, they don't say that no more.
No.
You know,
they all down.
They scared of that little AR platform. You know, and really, it's not a weapon of war. It's a varmint rifle. Is what it is.
My question is, if you're a politician, why are you scared of the people having guns unless you're fixing to do something?
That's right.
To where they might need a gun.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to tell you right now, if a politician tells you you don't need a gun, buddy, you need a gun, you need to start loading it right now.
That's right. Well, we got those.
Mm-hmm. Well, another thing that I think we need to talk about, and I don't know, I know we hadn't listed it as far as talking about it on here, but as far as social issues go, is why is it in the United States of America right now, and I talked about it a little bit, do boys feel comfortable dressing like girls?
I don't know.
Why do we allow that?
There's only one other species that changes sexes. You know what that is?
What is it?
It is venomous snakes.
Really?
Yep.
I didn't know that.
Yep. And I think that's all got something to do with it.
I always said copperhead is a male, whether it was male or female. Every
I'm
time
just
it struck at me, I thought it was
I'm
male.
telling you that I've seen where they change sexes over the years.
But it's valid because they can reproduce changing sexes.
Well, right. I get
A
it.
human male cannot reproduce by changing sexes.
Oh, there's some think they're going to.
Well, that is
Not
not.
the ones that's going to be a cat.
Why are we not? Those same people. Why is there not a counselor somewhere coming and talking to those people and saying?
No, they're talking to their parents, telling them how, they're supposed to accept what their child's doing.
Well, if you're a parent that accepts that, then you probably need a counselor.
No, exactly.
I mean, I'm gonna tell you something. There's a phrase my granddaddy used to use all the time, and when somebody was a little bit out there, he would always look at them and say, "Boy, these folks in Whitfield way ahead of you."
Well,
It goes back to distrust of government.
It does. And I'm not the first. I'm not the first one in my family that didn't trust him. Of course, back in the day, everything was a little different. But my great grandmother lived through the Buford Pusser days and all that stuff, and she was a little bit of a outlaw herself. Yeah, she can't get in no trouble now. She was a bootlegger.
Well, my great granddaddy was a bootlegger. But I think
it was an easy way to make money back then.
They made that movie about Pusser, and I remember my granddaddy telling me, which who could not stand it. I remember when they were making that movie, the guy that made the movie, what was his name? Boy, he was a big actor. He played Pusser in the movie.
I can't
Had
remember.
3 names. Something Don, something other. Anyway, I remember he told my granddaddy, he said, boy, that pusser must have been a hell of a man like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember Papa told him, he said, mister, he ain't what you making him out to be.
Well, you know, that's like nobody ever is what you make them out to be. I believe people are three people. I mean, seriously, 3 individual people. One person can be exactly who they think they are,
Mm-hmm.
who everybody else thinks they are, and then who they really are, and that's what God's going to let us know.
Yeah,
when we
that's
get
right.
there, you know, and so all I know to do is be me. I tell people all the time, I ain't got sense enough to be nothing but myself. You know.
Yeah, and I ain't real good at that.
Well, no, but you know, as far as like book smarts and stuff, I may not have as much of that as some people do. But they ain't got no. I know people that's got a whole lot of college and you know going to college and all that stuff, and they ain't got no common sense.
Yeah, I agree. I know a lot of people like that. One thing I want to talk about. Now that we've kind of got a lot of this out the way, tell me more about them crappie you caught over at Sardis yesterday.
Well, I'll tell you what, that was the best crappie fishing trip I've ever been on.
How deep was y'all fishing?
We was fishing about 5 6 feet deep in about 9 foot of water,
Okay.
9.5 foot of water. But boy, that old guy that took me over there, he was it was Lone Cypress.
Long Cypress.
Yep.
And that's
Yeah.
that's Sardis Lake, Sardis, Mississippi.
He guides there, yep. And he's got the live scope, and it's kind of cheap.
I'm gonna try it. We need to buy it.
I ain't gonna lie, it's cheap, but hey, we got a limit, and I'm talking about some hogs.
Y'all limited out pretty quick, didn't you?
Well, it took us about 8 hours. They wasn't just nailing it.
Did y'all have a lot of calls?
Yeah, we had a few and lost a few.
Yeah.
Lost some good ones actually. My biggest one was 2.20 pounds. Yeah,
That's good crap.
that is a good crappie, man. 15 inches long. Yeah.
Man, that water good and cold, man. I'm gonna tell you.
It was 58 degrees. The water was.
Crappie to me, crappie is better than a filet mignon at the finest restaurant there is in the world. I'd rather eat crappie any day of the week. That being said, crappie being pulled out of cold water is 10 times better.
You right. What do you think about sometime us cooking crappie on the podcast and showing them how we do it down here?
I got that pot outside. You ready?
Yeah. Yeah, well,
No, we can't do it today, but
the crappie's got to be thawed out.
Yeah.
But anyways, it was a good time, man. That's what we need to be doing this evening.
we really do. And I'm gonna tell you, we just getting this podcast kind of up and going, and I promise y'all this, we will get better as we go. We're trying our best right now, and the more we do this, hopefully the better we'll get. Our technology is going to get a little better, and our topics may get a little better. It may be something you're into, may be something you're not. That's why you have options on here. And we're just 2 old boys from Mississippi, and you may not agree with one word we say, but we do appreciate you letting us say it.
That's right.
And I think Jason's gonna play us a little music, ain't you?
Oh man, I can do that. I got you one. Well, the cow went dry and the hen won't lay, no place left to borrow. Well, I gave the landlord all the news and the rent comes due tomorrow. Well, there's lots of money in the bank and they say that's where to keep it. Not only wouldn't give me none, hell, they wouldn't be glad to see it. So